All right, man. Another 8 o'clock a.m. Another show with Drew Titan and Fannon on Fannon International Boxing. Fannon Live. What's going on with you, Drew? Drew, you're on mute. You're on mute.
That's my bad.
No worries. So what's going on with you, man?
Life is grand, man. Life is grand, man. And you gotta show the road with the punches. But life gotta watch for that counter.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. So I gotta talk to you today, man. I gotta talk to you, man.
Let's get it.
I had a series of tweets I had to put out today, Drew. I don't know if you saw them, but somebody sent you a text, man. Did you see that text somebody tried to get to you?
Nah, not on
Twitter. You didn't see it?
Nah.
Oh, dog, look, not on Twitter. No. It's on my Twitter. It was sent to you, but it was sent to the wrong person.
No.
Dude, you didn't know. Look, man. See, I'm telling you, this is true. I haven't even talked to you yet. I didn't even have time to talk to you. But watch this. Go to my Twitter and look at the tweet where I said about, and it's a tweet sent to you. I'll tell you what it was. Somebody tried to send a tweet to you, but they sent it to BFTB on accident. And it said, Drew, you really need a show of your own. Run away from Fannon.
That's what it said?
Yeah, it's what it said. Somebody sent you a note, but it went to BFTB, encouraging you to drop me.
It went to the wrong guy, man.
Went to the wrong guy. They see, because they mixed up BFTB and you, because they know I'm cool with obviously they know I'm cool with BFTB and you.
Oh shit! Wait a minute. We all look alike.
Not yet.
I mean, me, you, we all look alike. Me, you, Junior, you know?
Yeah, man. Oh, and you know what else we do? We also say the same things, apparently, because there was something else that took place yesterday. Well, do you know who Bernie the Boxer is?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I
went to his live stream yesterday, man. I went to his live stream. On like I always do. I listen to him all the time.
Okay.
But for some reason yesterday, that dude talked to me so bad that I was like, and he accused me of, look what this dude said I did, man. He said I posted clips of what he said and took the clips out of context. Do you ever see clips on my channel? Ever?
Never.
Who puts clips up on their channels?
Other channels. Not you, though.
I've never put one up on my channel at all. And by the way, relative to Bernie the Boxer, dog, what would you say I've said about Bernie the Boxer and Team Crawford and over the last couple, in the last few conversations?
I've heard you say you love Bernie the Boxer. As a boxer, you love him. But along with us and other people, we just think that his position in reference to Bud Crawford is off, and we weren't disrespectful. We just don't understand, and we weren't the only people that was saying that is a bit of delusional. That's the word.
But did I ever call him delusional?
No,
never.
Never.
Not that I know of. If I did, I said the statement is kind of crazy. 70-30, but whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that I actually had a video that I put out after Blue Blood after Bernie the Boxer went on Blue Blood. And Bernie the Boxer from Terence Crawford's camp, everybody told me how bad he looked, how terrible it was. And I was getting inundated with comments about Bernie the Boxer and about other people in Terence Crawford's camp. I am constantly asked whether I think Bomac is a good manager or not, and I always say yes. Whenever anybody says, does Terence Crawford making money? I say, dude, he got a good contract. He makes a lot of money. I've made every positive point that Bernie the Boxer has made or anybody else has made in that camp. I have backed them up on those points. with the exception of you. And I even said, I understand why you would walk away from 70-30. I said, I believe the fight is 50-50 fight. That's what I said. I think it should be. I'm one of the very few people out here that actually said, I want you to get 50%. That's my stance. I want him to get 50%. But these guys don't even listen to my videos. And I tried to contact Bernie the Boxer no less than 8 times. Before every video I made, he never returned my call. And he went on Blue Blood and ignored me. Even though I never reach out to anybody. And I went to his show and he talked so bad about me that I was like, wow, man. And you don't even know what I said, do you? He didn't know. This man had no clue what I said about him. He has no clue about my stance on Terence Crawford at all. I have him as my #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. I've never said that he's ever disrespected Errol Spence. I said that Terence Crawford was upset. The only thing that I ever said about Terence Crawford being disrespectful was when he made fun of the car accident. And that's it. You guys confuse me for Blue Blood, or you confuse me for Boxing Ego, or you confuse me for Dante's Boxing Nation, or you confuse me for Aki, or you confuse me for 78 or somebody else, dog. We are not all the same person, man. And if you're going to talk crazy bad to me, crazy disrespectful, at least know what I actually said. And the thing to me was, Jamel Herring was in there. And I've had interaction with Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring said maybe about 1.5 years ago, because a whole bunch of people made fun of me because of it. I made a video and I had and it was about Jamel Herring. By the way, the last video I ever made about him. I do believe I never made another video about him because he was on Twitter and he said, hey man, that's not what I said, even though I thought it was what he said. But I characterized it in a way that wasn't a direct quote because it's a video title and I only have 100 characters. It's like that. They don't even understand why the titles are like they are. You have to. Otherwise, number one, you get completely done in the algorithm. It's not about the money and the clicks. It's about what YouTube wants. YouTube wants Terence Crawford videos. So you have to do them to appease them because that's what everybody's interested in. I'm keeping you interesting. I'm talking about you, man. But anyway, after I was disrespected so soundly, dog, and accused of being a liar, but he didn't even accuse me of being a liar, man. He said I was basically lying. How do you basically lie? You are either lying or you're not lying. But I'll tell you what, the thing he said I was lying about, I don't even post clips. And then he asked, why didn't I point to a certain video? Why didn't I do a video that Red, whose name I don't even remember most times because he never talks in public. How would I know that he was on some guy's YouTube channel that hates me? The Lion Killer channel. He did an interview on Lion Killer and wanted to know why I didn't do a video off what was said on Lion Killer. Because Lion Killer's name is Lion Killer and he doesn't like me and I don't watch his videos. So how would I know? But then I asked throughout the whole chat, hey man, just send me the video. And I put in the comment section, go look. And I said, look man, any comment you want covered, call me. And then I said, okay, here man, here's my phone number. And I put it in his personal message. And you know what I did after he called me a liar and Jamel Charling walked behind him and put his shoulder on him and patted him but didn't say nothing? After I removed the video when Jamel Herring asked me to, I said, no, brother, you don't have to come on my channel to explain anything. I will take that video down. And I immediately took that video down when Jamel Herring asked me to. But he's in there hugging with a dude that's disrespecting me, crazy. Dude, these guys made it sound like they had a 50. Dude, a 50. For a second, I thought, I could be wrong, that since I was one of the only people in there and they started talking about a 15-year-old beating somebody up that don't know how to box, I was like, are you telling me that you have a 15-year-old in your gym that will beat me up? I just didn't understand. I'm like, are you for real? I'm not a boxer. I'm 51. You're trying to tell me that you got a 15-year-old that will beat me up? And I put in the chat like, of course he'll beat me up. I'm 51 and I don't box. What does that mean? So I was just confused and I left and I was like, after that, because it's still up. Because he said, oh, you're just going to make a video about this. I was like, man, I'm not going to make no video. I thought to myself, nah, man, I just really want to talk to this dude because I got a lot of money that Terence Crawford might be able to make. Because I think I got about $100 million that he can make in Nebraska that he doesn't know about. Because I got a lot of business friends that are in that area that work for the Congressional Black Caucus, and there's a big-ass project coming up in Nebraska. And maybe you don't know that because you're a big celebrity in Nebraska. And the job is around bringing government jobs for scientists and mathematicians to the state of Nebraska. And I've been trying my fucking hardest to talk to this guy. And he shit on me. I'm a lawyer. I'm a businessman. I've done business in Nebraska. I'm in Nebraska. I used to go to Nebraska all the time. Trains are big in Nebraska. Trains, just like Kansas City. And there's big government dollars coming because the Democrats won. So I'm thinking, man, dude, look, do you know? And I've been trying to talk to boxers. I've been trying. But they shit on me so much to say, do you realize that there are and here's the lesson. I put it on Twitter for you motherfuckers to listen. This is a lesson on demographics and government relations. Business is divided into two types of ways that you can earn revenue for a salesman, pretty much. Private sector and public sector. Private companies and the government. Right now, Terence Crawford, you make your money from the private sector. Bob Arum pays you. ESPN pays you. Boxers, people come and watch it. That's how you make your money there. Have you ever thought about making money from the public sector? Have you ever thought that because you're a celebrity and you have money that can buy land, and that if they bring government jobs to Nebraska, a red state, and Prickett wants to give government money for that you might be able to be part of a team that gets that deal? Have you ever thought about deals like that, Terence? I don't know if you've ever thought about that. And I just wanted to tell you, dude, maybe you should think about that, because the richest guy in sports make it outside, but they always talk about sponsorships. You don't need sponsorships or public sector or private sector. Government programs are public sector. And the reason you get it is because the people in your neighborhood need jobs, because they're selling drugs and committing crimes. But if you have a relationship with the governor, which you should, if you have a relationship with the richest man on the planet that's at your fights, which you do, you might want to say, hey, man, how can we turn some of this funding that the Congressional Black Caucus wants to use for STEM for black kids, how can we use this in a public sector fashion in the state of Nebraska and make a lot of money and bring a lot of jobs to everybody, so we don't have to be boxers, or we can get government money for our gym? You know, the one that you built maybe 7 years ago, the one I visited when there were still rocks on the ground. You know, the one right across the street from the school, the one I left my business card at that never got returned. You think I'm doing a YouTube channel just so I can get AdSense, man? All I do is talk about how you can make money, talk about contracts, and I do it and I talk about black empowerment in a mental sense. And then I go talk to this guy and he calls me all kind of piece of shit. And at least the way I thought it was, he threatens me with some little kid from Nebraska. Some little corner kid fighting for a living. Now I got to worry about him coming up and starting to fight with me because I was stupid enough to talk to these guys. It's business, man. You guys talked about you knowing business and all this stuff, man. I don't think you do. I think some of you guys, and this is not Terence Crawford's camp, this is just people in general that talk about business. Dude, I had a company for my family. We did well over $500 million in business in a 15-year span. That's how I paid for my school. That's how I know the business. Because I was part of a family that owned the 12th largest black family-owned business in the country for years, out of the city of Chicago. And I'm trying to tell you guys that you talk about this wealth that you want, generational wealth, and you never think about the political power that you have and the influence that you have relative to the public sector funding that takes place in your state. And your local leverage because of the people that vote and buy things in your side of whatever city that you're in. Which is why the Congressional Black Power Caucus is so important. But that's public sector. You know, public sector is just not Kamala Harris, by the way. She's not. But you know what she is? She's a woman who has a lot of influence on where money goes. Because that's what politics is. It is the distribution of the resources, collection of taxes, and the paying of those out in services. It is tremendously powerful and often overlooked as a career, as a way to add value to your community and turn a profit, reasonable profit at the same time. And it is something that can be passed easily from generation to generation. And it is and it is better than real estate because it is based on the real estate, and it is power. It is the influence to have people do what you want them to do, which is why government always deals with public sector, because government is the one that lays the laws. But like I said, that is a conversation of public relations, right? Like I said, public relations and demographics, black voting blocks, black spending, like this channel. 300 people in here, I guarantee you a whole bunch of them are black that buy things. I told you that with my demographics before. But you guys just think that this is not like, it's just some brain dead operation, dog. Dog, stop being, I just was so insulted because I thought to myself, man, I know this dude don't like me. But man, I swear to God, I think this guy's got a opportunity to make a lot of money, man. And he doesn't even have to pay me. I'm not asking to be paid. I was just asking to be listened to. Just like when Bill Haney was on here, man. Bill's, oh man, you should do that stuff for free. You don't do that for free. I'm like, dog, why? If I can tell you how to make $100 million deal, if I think I can, I could be wrong. But if I think I can give you a $100 million deal that doesn't violate any type of contract you have with boxing, because they can't keep you from buying a house. They can't keep you from voting. Okay? They can't keep you from starting another company or working in concert with other people. They can't stop you from doing that. That's not related to boxing. It's not public sector. I've read the contracts. It falls outside of the scope. It's a legitimate way to make money for people that have high influence, visual influence. That whole Vimeo thing, all that shit that Floyd Mayweather Jr., no disrespect to Floyd, where he's putting that pay-per-view on that private meet celebrity website. Dog, don't you think politicians want to meet celebrities and have celebrities be like, hey, man, I'm for the people. Yeah, he's from the people. Because he has to be for the people. But you don't want to sit down and talk, man. Y'all want to act like you know everything, man, because you know how to punch somebody in the fucking face. It's just so disrespectful, man, to the process, man. Not to me, to the process, man, of trying to get him paid. You mad at the motherfuckers for telling them, dog. Listen to this, Drew. I'd say this. You know, Terence, that 100% of $100 million of 100% of $10 million is $10 million. 30% of $100 million is $30 million. 10 times 3 is 300, or 300 divided by how many times does 10 go into 30? 3 times. You get 3 times the actual money by taking 70-30 than you do fighting on the contract you got. It might be worth even breaking your contract to get it, because it ain't going to cost you $7 million, because now you're at $17 million on a $30 million draw. That's just math. I'm doing my ears because that's just math. That's not hating. I'm literally trying to tell you, bro, why are you leaving $13 million on the table? The history with Bob Arum is that he charges $700,000 to get out of a contract. If you made $10 million in a fight, which you're not, but if you did make 10, let's overestimate it and go to 10 million. Then you add the 700,000, but fuck that, multiply that times 10 and just say, fuck it, 7 million, and say, boom, I give you 17 million. That's it off a $30 million fight. All you got to do is find somebody to front you the money. Why wouldn't you? But I don't know, because I don't know you. And that ain't my business. I'm a YouTube channel just speculating. But dog, that's how business is done, man. You look at all the resources that you have. What do you have, Deontay? Come on, man. What do you have, Errol? What do you have around you? Everybody wants to talk to me. I'm so fucking sick of everybody talking to me. Well, yuck, dog, you might as well go to this party and get paid if everybody want to talk to you. We can get 30 racks if you just show to the party, right? I say, man, show up to the fundraiser. That's a party. Show up to Prickett's, Governor Prickett's, I think it's Prickett, and show up to his fundraiser and say, what's up? I'm Terence Crawford. Well, what you doing? See, the thing that I always found ridiculous about the movie The Wire was Marlowe. And why that Negro felt the draw to get back on that corner when he's standing around a bunch of people giving him all that damn money. Those were government officials paying Marlowe that got him off the street. People want to focus on holding down the corner. Nigga, they were like, look, dude, you too influential in the community. Get off the corner. Come over here. But okay. The president of the United States only worked for my dad and my brother. And if you don't believe me, go check, what do you call it? Link in me. Fuck out my face. I was trying to help you make money, bro, and your boy spit in my face. So I'll just keep doing videos. And you guys can all call me a liar and act like government business doesn't happen in your state. And Gale Sayers. Do you know who Gale Sayers is?
Nope.
Thank you. But Gale Sayers is a running back for the Chicago Bears. Ever heard of Gale Sayers, the running back from Brian's Song? You know, he had the movie Brian's Song?
No.
Don't know who he is? Wow, that's crazy. You know who Walter Payton is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, he was before Walter Payton. He is worth he died worth about 20 times what Walter Payton was worth. He also died worth probably more than every boxer that is boxing right now. And there's also a guy who owns a basketball player that owns like 100, what do you say? He owns like 100 Wendy's. There's no way that he got those 100 Wendy's without politicians. No way. Did he get all that land without a politician? No way. You know why I know? Because I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi to the day I die, Lambda Mu Nu, Xi Omicron Pi. That's why I know. You know why? Because noops, that's what we do. Noops are mayors. Noops are, there's an AKA that is, what is she now? Vice President of the United States of America. That's right. That's what she is. You know, the AKA, my wife's sorority sister. She's Vice President of the United States of America with a whole lot of power to put a lot of money that way. Now, you may not like her politics, and I don't either, but that's our money, not hers. So there ain't nothing wrong with talking to her to see if we can work and use government funding to work and improve the lives of young boxers and the victims of crime and the drug bill that the president passed. All kind of things are related to the land. But my lesson's over. My lesson's over. Because I didn't give you none of the how. I ain't giving you none of the how. Go try to do that, you fucking biter. They will throw you out. Who the fuck are you? What's your name again? Never heard of you. Go get somebody that I've heard that did business around here before. Go find somebody that has had, maybe done business with the railroads and maybe he's done business with the, maybe been and done that shit. Maybe you need to find somebody like that. I was going to tell Terence Crawford exactly who that is in Nebraska because it's not complicated. He lives in Omaha. And he knows government relations very well. And I don't even know his name. You know why? Because there's one in every fucking city. Just like a lawyer. You go sit down and talk to him and figure out how you can accomplish what you want to accomplish in the public sector. But that's okay. No more game because I'm a bum and a liar. And I got to worry about a teenager beating me up because I can't fight. Fucking amazing. Now, what else is up in the fucking boxing world? And they want to know, and you want to know why they sending notes like that to fucking Drew. That's why. That's why they do that. They don't think I'm racist. They think I'm brilliant. That's what they think. They don't think I'm crazy. They think I'm brilliant. Because what I just told you is exactly how you get massive weed farms. It's exactly how you get all kind of shit popping off. You know why? I'm from the Chi, baby. I'm from the Chi. You know what we do? They call it the Windy City. And it ain't because of the wind, dog. It's because them motherfuckers will blow you down. That's what that shit is. You think all them young kids killing each other on the south side is a fucking accident? That shit is called property clearing. Yeah. Okay. There is a rule. Now let's shift to politics. I don't care. Extra lesson here. Politics. Who is Henry Kissinger? Do you know who Henry Kissinger is?
Yes.
Who is Henry Kissinger?
1 minute. Wait, hold on.
I'll tell you who he is while we wait. Henry Kissinger is one of the most powerful politicians in the history of the United States. Key architect to the Vietnam War. Key, just a vision, from certain people's point of view, a complete visionary. And a American history. And when I say Henry Kissinger, I'm not going to speak about him disrespectfully. I'm going to give you what he is. You know who he is. Half of y'all don't know what he did, but you all know who he is. Now, you definitely don't know who his professor was. So let me tell you who his professor was, since y'all don't know. It's a man named Hans Morgenthau. One of the most renowned political thinkers in the history of the United States of America. The teacher of the political scientists that guided the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s till today under all kind of forms called neo this and neo that. I'm a neoliberal. I'm a neoconservative. Fuck up out of here. Let me tell you what you are. You are a student of Hans Morgenthau's 10 tenets of political realism. They are political realists. They are not Democrats and Republicans and this and that and the other thing. All the buzz names they want to do. Nope. They are political realists. And let me tell you why I say they're political realists. And all that other shit you guys are talking about come because you have no understanding of the nature of politics at all. A key tenet To hunt, look them up, dummies. Give you fucking idiots a couple seconds. Look them up. Because you ain't never heard this before in your life. But look them up first. That's enough time. Hans Morgenthau's 10 tenets of political realism includes this. And it's a paraphrase because I ain't read it in 30 years. 32 years. You know why? Because I'm fucking brilliant. And I can see it. Little foggy, but I think it goes something like this. To confuse the morality of the individual with that of the nation state is to court national disaster. Dumbasses. I only debate my equals to everyone else, every fucking body else I teach. To confuse the morality of the individual with that of the nation state is to court national disaster. Let's walk through it word by word. Students. To confuse. White supremacy is based on what I've taught you. Confusion. They don't want no confusion. Ain't no confusion. Yes. It's snake language. And I've fucking been telling you. But you won't listen to me because I sound like a white boy at first. But okay. To confuse, which is something they do not want, but they want for you. To confuse individual morality. You are the individual. Morality is your sense of what is right and what's wrong. So for you to confuse your personal sense of right and wrong with that of the nation state. Dummies, let's walk it on back. Because I know you niggas do not follow me. You do not follow me. So let me do it again. This is how I teach. I take very complicated ideas that you've never heard, nor do you understand if you did hear them, and I will break them down to something very easy for you to understand. To confuse the individual, to confuse the morality of the individual, your personal fucking opinion, dumbass, and what you want and what you think is right. Mistreatment, that's individual mistreatment. We don't care about mistreating individuals. That's not immoral because we do not confuse your morality, my personal morality, with that. With that. I think you got that. They teach that shit in whenever the fuck you dropped out of school. That. With that of the nation state. What is a nation and what is a state? Nation is the people. State is the government. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At the time, though, we were donkeys. So the shit don't apply. But that is a statement, I guess. Anyway, so let me break it. Did you get that, Drew? So let me tell you what that means and why I say there's none of that other stuff you talk about. Because they said it's okay to mistreat you because it's in their best interest. Ain't that it? Ain't that what I just broke down? And didn't I point out Hans Morgenthau and draw a line from Hans Morgenthau to Kissinger to Hillary Clinton to Joe Biden to Barack Obama to everybody in the University of Chicago and to damn near everybody at Harvard and damn near everybody at Yale and damn near everybody at Princeton and everybody all over there? But you want to call me a fucking liar. That is the definition of white supremacy, my friend. That is the essence of it. We're not going to confuse you with us. Because who's the nation? The nation is the people. Are we part of the people? No, we are not. We had to get certain rights given to us throughout time, slowly, progressively given things, while other things are taken away in equal measure, yet confusing you. But now, are you any type of personal realist? There are those types too that will not confuse your individual morality with that of themselves. And that also leads to minor manipulative people within their own companies. They are economic realists. They are just people that can come up with their Ayn Rand. Isn't that all Ayn Rand? Isn't that all Margaret Sanger? You all are so fucking far down on the fucking Christmas tree talking about shit. I keep pointing you to the star and you won't look. You guys want to keep talking to me and breaking shit down and telling me what other people said. I read these books and did these things years ago and I left them alone and I'm still processing them. You have to let these things process in your mind with age and experience. And if you think I'm wrong about all this, good. Do the honest research for yourself and discover whether I'm telling you the truth or not. But do not ball your fucking spit up and put it in my face. Because it is not helping me. It doesn't help you. Because what do they want me to do? See, because what would they want me to do? Why would he do that to my face? To make me react and say something really bad and childish in return. So I said, no, let me give a lecture that I needed to give on something called neocolonialism. But you'd have to know who Kwame Nkrumah was to have that conversation, wouldn't you? See, dude, you can just throw somebody out, dog, that got something really nice for you, man. And I could be completely wrong, but, dog, that's something nice for you, man. That's why they say do not cast your pearls in front of, don't cast pearls in front of swine. They can't see it. But I keep telling the other people around me to tell me to stop doing it. No, bro, I can explain it. Let me just lay the pearls at your feet and let me tell you that they're worth a lot of money if you take them to the fucking pawn shop. Just put them in a fucking string and take them. And tell them I want $100 for this shit. And you write up a receipt from some legitimate fucking business that sounds legitimate so that they can track it to somebody that'll say, yeah, I sold it to them. You know, the dumb little street shit people do that they don't think is the exact same thing people do at banks. It's real frustrating, Drew. I mean, I call you Drew. It's real frustrating, man. Like, and that's why, you know, it's like, I have to talk to y'all like y'all not there. Like I'm in my closet. Like, there's just, how can you get a guy with $100 million to realize that he could probably get $1 billion out of that? Because I know that I've never spent any of my money on this channel. None. Never spent a dime. Drew, did you see? You saw what I showed you, right? No, I'm not asking you. I'm not bragging. I'm not asking you.
No.
But you say if I told you I took a penny. No, excuse me. I took just what was in my room. Only thing I had a computer and I had a mic. Just like a rapper, I had a mic and a computer. And that's it. And when I got a little money, more money to dedicate to it, I got a little better mic. And when little people started listening, I started trying to be a little better. And when my numbers got better and I didn't understand it, I tried to change the way I made my title. And then I tried to give you more substance in what I talk about to separate myself. And you all just take your shit out and piss on it, man. And I don't appreciate it. I didn't do anything to you, Jamel. You asked me to take a video down, I took it down, man. We ain't got to be, if I was going to, I didn't, and here, let me tell you the last of it. Here's the last of it. I gave him my number and then I took that shit off. I sat back like this, I was like, nah, man, fuck that. I just took my fucking number. I was like, you know what? They can make a video and tell them that they can go to some channel that ain't nobody ever gonna listen to, whatever, and go tell them that, yeah, he didn't follow up on a. No, I didn't follow up. You're right. You win. I didn't follow up because I never want to talk to y'all, ever. And just like y'all don't want to talk to me, and I'm never gonna be disrespectful. I'm gonna cover all this, but dog, that was shit. I'm sitting there getting disliked, and the 15-year-old kid, dude. It's like, dude, I had to sit there. It's like, what am I going to say to that? If a 15-year-old walked up and, what am I going to say to that? What kind of maturity does that show to even say that to a grown man?
Well, there's that word, maturity.
Hey, man, that's my cook, dog. So what's going on with this shit, how they fucked you? Let's transition to this talk shit. Go ahead, man. What do you think about that, man?
I'm not on Twitter. Maybe I need to get a Twitter account so I could pay more attention to the hate. I don't know. Maybe I will get a Twitter account. It's all comical to me. But ain't it amazing how an opinion can drive a person mad and run them right up a wall? That to me is comical in itself. You know, my opinions are based off of facts, and it's like I became a star overnight. For having a conversation with another grown ass man, and I put a video out last night. And I thought about it, and I said, wait a minute. It seems that people are more mad at me than they are at Tay Jones. I was talking to Sugar Hill for about a good 30 minutes. Tay was talking to him for maybe 3.5, 4. It just sounded like a threat to me. And Sugar just sat there, didn't even respond. And it was over. None of the boxing analysts said anything. They didn't even say it was, well, I don't know if they didn't say anything. I didn't hear or read anyone tweet Tay anything menacing, or they go straight to me. And like I said, looks are deceiving, because I've heard people say, "Oh, the guy with the camouflage tank top and do-rag," and yeah, substance. Did you hear what I had to say? You're very, very threatened. Not at the fact that I had these questions, but you're more threatened at the fact that this guy gave back answers that didn't sit well with you. All I did was ask the questions. Did I curse at Sugar? No. I mean, what's the worst that I say to Sugar? I said, yeah, you know, I said, I hope you die in a car fire based off of the evidence. Now, what's worse? Hoping that someone dies in a car fire, or the person that actually assisted in attempted murder? Because that's what it was, in my opinion. But Sugar did say, I don't know nothing about no cheating. I just told him how to throw a punch. And that's the end of it. So I said, you don't know nothing about no cheating. He said, no. I said, well, Sugar, I will take you at your word. There you go. But you do understand the term in concert. And the world went crazy. So keep going crazy, because it's a crazy world. I mean, shit, we had 4 years of Donald Trump. We're out our fucking mind over here. We're out of our fucking mind. So this goes to be expected. And, you know, I don't know how the fuck someone contacted BFTB thinking it was me. But I don't know how the fuck that works, you know.
Bro, I'll tell you how it works. Somebody tells this dude, look, man, or they get some fucking burner account and they're doing it to a bunch of motherfuckers, man. Like, dude, whenever I try to do something with people, dude, literally, dude, if I meet some fucking body and I say some shit to damn near any fucking body, That motherfucker will never talk to me after that. I got people calling me, nigga, like pissed. Like, this dude is, I'm like, dude, what are you fucking, first of all, you put that shit in the fucking newspaper. Why are you fucking calling me? No disrespect to anybody that did it. But for real, like, that's in boxing scene. Boxing scene is the #1 place that you get news articles, and it's on the front thing of new. Oh, but it was you, Fannon, that said it. Who called you and told you that? It was fuck out of here. They don't even read the titles. Like, for real. People, I just couldn't tell you. That type of shit happens all the fucking time, dude. And it's supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to cause confusion. Right? Yep. I'm looking over there at channels, dude, where there are guys that are complete and utter. And Skinny Kenny said, I had to study the Kissinger, it's Morgenthau, professor guy in a college class. I found him almost exactly like and saying the exact same thing as Machiavelli in a different era. Look, man, here's the thing, dude. It's called dominion. It's called dominion. The key in government politics to the Western world is dominion. They want freedom to roam. It's not a complicated concept. They just want to be able to go wherever they want to go and do whatever they want to do, right? Within their domain. But here, in our domain, according to the Monroe Doctrine, right, is the Western Hemisphere. It's Canada. The Monroe Doctrine is not about the United States. It's about the former Europeans that separated into the New World. So the New World and the Old World, what do they have in common? They're both the same world. Whose world? Europeans' world. The New European world and the Old European world is the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere. It literally is they are teaching you what it is. What you guys are missing is that what Neely Fuller Jr. and these guys are talking about came from them. This was something that's taught by Hans Morgenthau at Yale, at Harvard. It's taught. The term that he uses, it called RWS, is not something that was invented by us. I think the guy's name is, I always think Lollard Stoddard, but it's the guy that wrote the end of white supremacy, the rise of the rising tide of color. That's a book written in the 1920s. That's not something we created. That's something that they said. Similar to how they use that now, they use terms now like neocolonialism and post-colonialism and racialism and post-racialism and neocolonialism and neo-capitalism and blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit is just political realism. It's just realism. They're not trying to, and what is real? It's on the ground. Real estate class. Real-ism. Not like, ooh, it's real. And no, real as in things connected to the ground. We're getting our shit. Political real estate, political real property, reel your ass in. I mean, dog, I be trying to teach y'all. I've read all of the shit you talk about 10 times, and then I sat for a decade contemplating it, completely depressed over the state of the world. And I'm like, oh, shit, boxing. It's all microcosmed in boxing. So I want to talk about it. So let's just do it in a way where you can have a channel and people don't really just hate you. But then I fell into niggas from Omaha. And I'm like, God dang, I can't even walk the streets in Omaha because these niggas told me a 15-year-old was going to do me in. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck is that? That's not literal. You know what I mean? That's a joke. Put a joke before that and a joke off after that. I don't believe that's what he was saying. He was trying to disrespect me and say I don't know how to box. And to that I say, so what? That I don't know how to box. I know how to count. I know how to read. You know what I'm saying? Well, and I know that there's a reason that they give young black people money and not people my age. Thank you very much. Because if they gave me $100 million contract, shit. That's why but those guys know that. That's why they make sure they get their quarterbacks. We keeping the quarterback. We keeping the motherfucker on the bench. We keeping the motherfucking coaches. We keeping all of that. You know why? Because they're going to be making money for the next 50 years. And you guys are going to keep getting replaced. And that money is then going to be used to grow our money. Because that's our nation. You're in the state of depression. You're in the state of capture. But you're not in the nation. You're maybe in the Nation of Islam or Dante's Boxing Nation, or because that's a nation, isn't it? The people is the nation. The state is the government. What state they put you in. You're in a state called this lot of land with this shit drawn around it. That's your state. Your state of being wherever the fuck I tell you to be. That's the interesting thing about the English language. You really can use the multiple meaning of the same word and come around to a meaning that is true. But you actually have to have literacy to do that. And you know what helps with literacy? A lot of money from the state for STEM programs like they would have in Alabama that led to all of that shit in Tuskegee. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know about the Tuskegee experiment?
Absolutely.
Tell them what the Tuskegee experiment is.
We were lined up like cattle and bamboozled into thinking that we was being given a vaccination. And it was to put it bluntly, one big mind fuck. And we were poisoned. And we was led.
Nah, you got that shit all wrong, Drew.
Talk to me. I got it all backwards.
Completely backwards.
Talk to me.
Some rich nigga somewhere in the state of Alabama had a fucking brilliant idea.
It's brilliant.
This is the brilliant idea. Let me tell you. It's called making something out of nothing. Would you like to know what the something out of nothing was for the Tuskegee experiment that nobody talks about?
What's that?
Government contracts.
That's it?
It's huge. Because here you go. Around the time two things happened in Alabama. Funding of black scientists that wound up with things like, George Washington Carver a long time ago? Mm-hmm. He was before that. But he was funded by the government, right? All that. He ain't just walking around with plants and shit doing nothing. He's there getting paid and funded because that's what academics do. They get funded by the government. So in order for Tuskegee there to be an experiment, they had to get funding. So the funding would have come from the federal government and the state, and it was going to be administrated by a state agency. The state agency, right, is run by administrators that are appointed by politicians. The politicians get in office by people that have money. The people that have money donate to Tuskegee. So they say, we want some government money from Tuskegee, and we're going to use that money to buy and sponsor young black intellectuals in their growth. Watch this. For every black man that died of syphilis during the Tuskegee experiment, which I do believe happened where? In the University of Tuskegee, there are 5, 10, 15 black men that got out of there with doctorates. So let me tell you what happened at this. Yeah, doctorates, because they got PhD programs and all that. Well, I don't know if they got them at Tuskegee now, but see, in the black community, because people always talk about, let's go to Harvard, let's go to Yale. Let me explain to you how the black community works. The black community in America really works from the HBCUs, because the HBCUs are where black people get educated to be doctors, lawyers, things like that. Work in politics, not big in politics, all throughout politics. They may be your secretary, they may want, all kind of shit. Somebody might be in security. You just be surprised how many noops there are and how many Qs there are and alphas there are. And then think about all the people that went to the Tuskegee but didn't pledge, right? So these have been machines for years of producing scholars. How do I know that? I'm a scholar that was produced by multiple HBCUs, Dillard University in New Orleans and Howard University in DC. I know how these guys get paid. My wife is a professor. My wife's family are professors that work in the sciences, who live in Louisiana, which is not too far from Alabama. And when I did the same project that I tried to contact people about that nobody will let me get near them to talk about, so fuck whatever. You never got it, so you'll never miss it type shit. But whatever. So, but anyway, that's what the Tuskegee, that's how they got fried. That's the connection between the black establishment and black people. Because my kids get college educations. Your kids get syphilis. That cannot happen without black politicians. And that does not happen without the change of money, because the syphilis needles cost money. That nurse that everybody wants to put it on worked for somebody that assigned her to that. She's just the lady that shot it up and they keep putting in the fucking pictures. Who was running the University of Tuskegee at the time? It's the fucking president. You don't think the president of Tuskegee at that time knew they were shooting motherfuckers up with syphilis for years? Okay. That's why they didn't want me near you. That's why they never liked me. Because the connection between business and politics is real. And you can use it for great good, like the Nation of Islam did. And I ain't a Muslim. Their effective use of that shit is the reason that there is a top rank, that there is a Don King. Very effective, very astute politicians. Standing 100 black men in a line, not fighting each other. Do you know how powerful that is? I was at the Million Man March. I lived right next to the Million Man March, right in DC. I was in law school there. Oh, no. I was in law school at the time during the Million Man March. And I sat there and watched 1 million black men pass money hand to hand, hand to hand, hand to hand, all the way to the fronts in the baskets. Nobody argued, nobody fought, nobody stole, nobody did anything. It was a bunch of black men, grown black men, well over 1 million. It was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. I'm telling you, you have no idea how it is to stand around that many black men with no malice, with nothing but love. And I'm telling you, nothing but it. There was no way anybody was going to fight if they stepped on a shoe. There was no way that anybody was going to disrespect anybody. And there was 1 million of us from the cap all the way down that lawn, man. It was fucking bananas. And half of them didn't like Farrakhan. Half of them didn't even listen. They didn't even listen. We didn't even listen. We were just in amazement that we could do it. And you niggas sell us so fucking short. I know I saw $1 million go over my head, hand to hand to hand, I guarantee you. Because they said ones, then they said fives, then they said give me a 10, and then they said let me tell you, let's rub it in the face of these people when we are so brotherly together and we can show our money and I can hand it to you. You don't understand. They don't think animals. You can't get animals to hand food to each other. Mm-hmm. It was a moment of humanity that was so beautiful and got erased in history.
Yep.
You don't, because 1 million this and 1 million that and everything's so no. Black men are mature. There are so many of us. So many of us. So many noops. So many Qs. So many alphas. So many vice lords. So many Crips. So many Bloods. So many of us. But you don't see it's us. Because you don't have a metaphysical understanding of the nature of being. Because you don't know how to put together your crooks. You don't know the diamond. You don't know it. You don't know the language. I tried to teach one of you. I tried to draw all of it. I tried to say, look, let me get the Vice Lord shield. Let me get your shit. Let me get your bunny rabbit. Let me get your shit. And I drew a picture for this guy completely in sync. And I explained it. The blue and the red. I explained it all. And they hate me when I do it. But I promise you it's the truth. I'm a noob. I'm a double pole. If there's a noob in the building, you know what a pole is. I'm a pole 2 times. I'm the rock. I'm a rock and a pole. 2-time pole. Last to cross sands. Last to walk the yard in the history of Phi Nu Pi. I'm the last one to walk the yard because I'm number 6 in 92. Do you noobs know what that is? Of course you don't, because you don't have any respect for black history, not the noobs. But y'all don't understand what it really is, dog. We are a complete people. We keep talking about what happened to what's the block, but what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I think, man, come on, man. We got a Tulsa, Oklahoma right here, and you niggas is burning it down. We in Tulsa right now, and you niggas is burning it down. We making way more money than they was making in Tulsa, and you burning it down. You burning it down. You dive bombing it. You are. Look at the analytics. I can give you the analytics on Tulsa. What could they possibly have been doing? They got a couple oil wells. When they pump it out, they got to sell it to the people in the town next to, because how are they going to sell it? You think these guys are going to give these guys top dollar for that oil coming out them wells in Oklahoma? No. They were paying a fraction of it. A fraction of it for that oil. A fraction. And you know what happened? There are some people over there with some oil wells that were not getting paid a fraction and were not liking them oil wells. Boom, blow up the oil wells and every nigga near it. And you think that shit is about they were jealous? No. They were lowballing the competition more than likely if they had any ability whatsoever of earning a living in the 1930s to 20s pumping oil in Oklahoma. You know why I know that? Ask me why I know that, dog.
Why you know that?
Because my mother used to go take me when I was a kid to Bowie, Oklahoma. Bowie, Oklahoma is a black rodeo. I used to go to the black rodeo when I was a kid. And the reason why we used to go to the black rodeo when we was a kid in Oklahoma was because friends of our family owned an oil company in Bowie, Oklahoma, which is not too far from Tulsa. So the people that were killed were the family members of the people that my mother used to visit. They were extremely wealthy. They had this, my mother tells a story. Their last name is Forrester. They live in Oklahoma. Go look up their company. It's called Forrester. And it was like Forrester Oil. And it was in the 1940s and the 1950s, but it was not next to Tulsa. It was near Bowie, Oklahoma, which is why there's a Bowie rodeo. Because the rodeo came to where the millionaire black people were in Bowie, Oklahoma. And they were the Forresters, who were friends with my mother's family in Louisville. You know why that is? Because yellow niggas all hung out together. That's the black aristocracy that people are talking about. So when you talk about how they blew up Tulsa, Oklahoma, but yet you talk shit about people that are building businesses on YouTube, doing the exact same thing that the Tulsa, Oklahoma residents were doing to the surrounding communities by giving a more fair price on their oil that they owned. And more than likely, somebody wasn't mad about blowing a kiss or nothing like that. Why would you blow up a city over that? All they got to do is snatch some fucking body up and lynch them. They blew up the whole fucking town and took the oil wells. Realism, real estate. Get real. Really shut the fuck up talking to me. You guys have not thought about this shit much. See, I appreciate that you guys do this. Because I did this in my 20s. I did it in my 30s. I did it in my 40s. I don't have to do it in my 50s. In my 10s, I was learning how to walk and get used to my life. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. In my 20s, in my teens, I was like, oh, I'm starting to get a man, physically manhood. I was like, oh, I'm a man. I can run. I can jump. ooh, this is great. When I was in my 20s, I was like, oh, I'm out in the world. I'm leaving my mother's house. I'm going to make my way in my world. It was time to go set up my house in my home. Didn't have any family, didn't have anyone, enjoyed it. Did all kind of shit, wasted all kind of money, right? Hit my 30s. Now shit's getting serious because I got a wife and I got a kid. How you going to make the money? Now you got to get dead serious, right? You go through that stage. Shit don't go right. You have to figure out how to fix it. You come up, you come down, you come up, you come down. But throughout that process, you know what I learned? You have to go through that whole process to learn it. There is no shortcut that's going to get you there when you're 22. It's not. And I can prove it. Every dude that you talk about that is some miracle guy at age 22, 25, 30 is dead at 40. They say, only the good die young. No. The good die young because they killed by the niggas that ain't that damn good. Okay? Because once you're, let me see this. Business, right? Realism. How much you are a product to me? Because that's capitalism, isn't it? You're a product to me. How much are you worth? And when does your depreciation set in? Right? We could talk about depreciation in terms of depreciation. What do you call it? Appreciation, where things are going up. The fighter's young. They're trying to appreciate or trying to expand the value of Teofimo Lopez through pound for pound. Man, I could go all day teaching you the analytics of basic business because that is what the fuck I did for 30 years. But okay, spit in my motherfucking eye. No, you don't spit in Al Heyman's eye, do you? You know why they don't spit in Al Heyman's eye? And no disrespect to Al Heyman, he's giving you guys great results. More power to you, brother. But you know why they would never spit in the face of Al Heyman and Barack Obama? And why they would spit in the face of somebody like me or say Junior the Truth? You know why?
Why?
Because white people vouch for him. Because they went to Harvard. Every time you celebrate Al Heyman, a black person celebrates him. They say, oh, he went to Harvard. And every time I hear that, I'm like, okay, he went to Harvard. And I appreciate that because I know what that is. Especially because he didn't go to Harvard undergrad. He's an extremely sharp and responsible person that is very timely. Very, very timely. He is clear-minded, which means he's not smoking and drinking and getting high because you're not going to be able to do what you need to do in through those graduate years. But also, he's not undergrad at Harvard. He's MBA Harvard. So it's a different thing. But the reason I have Harvard on my resume is because I needed to have Harvard on my resume. I didn't learn damn near nothing but except for the terminology of negotiation from Harvard. But I needed to get that shit on my motherfucking LinkedIn. Because when people see Harvard, Howard, when they see Dillard, Howard, oh shit, Harvard. What the fuck does that he do at Harvard? Fuck he get into Harvard? You want to know how I got into Harvard, Drew?
How'd you do that?
They let me in. Would you like to know why they let me in?
Why?
Because of who the fuck I am. And they said, yeah, come on in. We'll give you our name. Take this class. And I say, thanks, man. How much is it going to cost? About $1,500. Cool. There you go. And you know what now they have? They have Harvard next to my name. Oops. They would have never let me in there if I didn't have my shit together. Never. Not anywhere near that thing. The reason that they did it is because of what I've done. So when I have to think about why he got into Harvard is because it's going to be based on something that he did. Like he is going to have exceptional GPA and he's going to have exceptional connections because he has to get in. And no way you're going to get in unless you got connections like somebody from Ohio that's very powerful and wants you educated. See, all kind of connections in boxing and money, and you can track that. The thing that you know you can do for sure, though, is make a lot of it. If you focus on black people and focus on black people because that's your demographic. Whenever black people try to sell outside of their demographic, you fail. Every time you try to sell out of your demographic, you fail without exception. without exception. You name the exception, I'll tell you they didn't succeed. Floyd Mayweather Jr. crossed over to people buying his fights, 0 sponsorships. They could have made that man a trillionaire if they wanted to. But you know why they didn't make him a trillionaire? You want me to tell you why?
Please.
Because he doesn't work for a gazillionaire. See, in order to be a millionaire, you got to work for a multimillionaire. In order to be a billionaire, you got to work for a multi-billionaire. That's how the fuck it works. You know what I'm saying? You think they just don't, you think you're just going to accidentally stumble on that type of money? Like they don't know, oh, if I give this guy this new shoe line, if I give this guy this new shoe line and put his name on it and sell it all over the world. But see, that's what they want you to do. They want you chasing that. You know why? Because they make more money off of you when you do that than your community would do if you did what I asked you to do, which is just, hey man, cast your buckets down where you may. Can I lecture a little bit more?
Please, man.
Bring it up at the end.
This is some educational shit right here.
Let me end this lecture with a little bit of black intellectual history. Can I get an amen from the church? Because I got to talk to black folk that really want to listen. Because there is some conundrum that people act is out there, and it's not a conundrum at all. Okay, so we keep going. All right, but we only got a couple minutes. So here's the game. There were 2 men after slavery ended. Remember? We was locked up in chains and all that shit. Remember when we was locked up in chains? We don't remember, but you've heard that shit, right? Niggas locked in chains. Right. So the next. After when niggas was locked and chained, they had a reconstruction, right? Reconstruction. You remember that word, reconstruction?
Reconstruction, yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Oh, shit. That means building again, pretty much.
Thank you. What do you think that they were building again? Let me explain what they were building again.
I'm sorry.
They were rebuilding the whole country is what they were rebuilding, right? So during Reconstruction, and I'll cut it to the chase, I'll get quick. At Reconstruction, there became a lot of wealthy black people, is what Reconstruction was. Reconstruction allowed for there to be a lot of black politicians elected in multiple states in the South primarily, right, which were former Confederate deals. So what did they do? They made a lot of money. Who made the money? It was the people that you now consider the boule, right? Because government has resources and money. You're a senator. You can now point that money to somebody. Who are you pointing it to? You're pointing it to the businessmen and all the people that supported you to become a politician. That's how it works. So Reconstruction made a lot of wealthy black people. Who are these wealthy black people in Reconstruction? You hear about people like, God, who's the business lady? You hear all their names, right? Who's the lady, the black lady, big fat black lady who had the hair care shit everybody talks about, right? There were people that own oil companies because now you got access to money, right? So then what happens after that? Because I'm going to get to it. During this Reconstruction, when we get all this money, niggas start sitting up and talking about what we're going to do with all this money. How are we going to move our people ahead? So there are 2 schools of thought. One is from Tuskegee. By the way, can I ask you a question, dog? Where did we hear the word Tuskegee before?
In reference to that experiment.
Right. So there was a guy named, what was the guy's name that was the president of Tuskegee? And he was just opposed to W.E.B. Du Bois. There was W.E.B. Du Bois and the Booker T. Washington. And then there was also Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey over here, Pan-Africanism. But in intellectualism, in the general area of time, there was a guy that said we need the talented 10th. And the talented 10th was this. Let the richest, smartest black people, usually light-skinned, run every fucking thing and tell all the other dark-ass niggas what to do. That's how I always thought of the talented 10th. Because I'm like, why are you so fucking talented? Oh, you're related to white people. Okay, great. That's what I always kind of caught me on. Because it always wound up being, how come all the talented motherfuckers always got straight hair? I don't believe that that's the motherfucking talented people. Anyway, but that's the Townsend 10th. And then there is your boy, Booker T. Washington, who was cast your buckets down where you may, which was this. No, dude, let's just start working for white people because they own every fucking thing. Let's get some fucking jobs, open our houses, and make a practical living instead of trying to be intellectual wizards and recreate the world. Okay, so just kind of think of it as the people that want to just say, man, let's fucking get to work. Okay, let's make some fucking money. Let's feed our kids, right? So what happened? That's why I told you it was important to understand that there had to be politicians involved with the Tuskegee experiment because it was government funding that went through their administration to pay the lady that shot the niggas up. That's business. That's organizational structure. You know it had to work that way. I could lecture you on Black Power turning into black when Black Power turned to the black establishment in the 1970s, same thing. It was Black Power. Hey, let's all start voting for each other. Let's start doing this stuff together, right? In the 1970s. So what happened? You shoot your boy in Chicago, pop, pop. You know what I mean? This shit, Black Panthers, blah, blah, blah. But what happens? You get a rise of mayors in Atlanta. There starts to be all kind of city mayors. City mayors in DC, city mayors in all over the country. Bunch of city mayors all of a sudden, right after the fall of the Black Panthers. Why? Because Black Power turned to black establishment. Now now these politicians who represent all black people now are saying, hey, give me this funding for black people. But what happens? They give the money for black people, but who gets the money? The people they contract with. All kinds. That is politics. That is business. So when I'm telling you, stop shooting black people down, dog, on YouTube and boxing channels. This thing is producing more revenue probably than Tulsa did. And it definitely has the ability to produce more revenue for black creators and content creators than working at your local fucking Walmart in the middle of what is this shit called again?
A pandemic.
A pandemic. So you got black men. Let me get this right. You got black men with a good business when everybody else is suffering. We're growing and black people attack us and try to bomb us out, try to ruin our reputations, try to shut us down. Doesn't that sound just like what maybe some people in failing oil company guys around Tulsa might do to them?
Yep.
Might just start saying, dog, they making all this money. Look at this motherfucker Shure. I mean, this dude got, look what this nigga got. This nigga got a Shure here. He got a Yeti over here. He got another Shure over there. Man, look at how many views he got. Look at all the ads he got. I know how much money this nigga making. We got to shut this down. Because we ain't making this money. That's what it is. This dude is actually talking about starting a YouTube channel. Man, you will burn and fail. I'm saying, like, do you understand how competitive this is? Do you understand how competitive this is? Am I making it up, Drew, or am I tripping?
No. That's 100% National Geographical facts. You know, it's doing more harm than good with that type of conversation that he's doing and he's having. It's they can't see past their own nose. You know, Bud didn't. He's real selective in who he speaks to, and he made it very clear that he didn't want to talk to any of us, and us meant the social media guys, the YouTube guys. That's his choice. We still ain't talk bad about him. We're just sharing our opinion and telling the truth. We're not lying on Bud. Ain't no one lying on Bud. You know, he's getting him and his team is getting all up in their panties over what? I mean, over what? You know, telling him, 60-40 is a good deal. You know, you saying that, you think it was 50-50. We're just telling the truth. Ain't no one lying on anybody. Because if we put out a lie, isn't that illegal? Can't we get sued over a lie if he can prove that it's cost him money in any way, shape, or form. Ain't nobody lying on Bud. But you know what? Look, he drew the line, and it's absolutely fine. All right? You know, when it gets to the point where you're talking about, oh, my God, this guy can't fight. I got a 15-year-old that'll whoop his ass. Yeah. What does that have to do with the business? What does that have to do with what we're even talking about here? You said that to say what? There's nobody on YouTube, to my knowledge, that could whoop a pro's ass. Unless they're actual fighter. I mean, granted the situation. I mean, like, for example, I'll talk all the shit about Dillian White I want to. I'm not a pro fighter. If we got in the ring, he probably whooped my ass. In the street, it's probably a different story, I assure you. But in the ring, I ain't going to beat that guy, but that's not going to change my opinion. So why even go there? Are we really there? This is where we're at in the situation where might is right? All right, is might really right? Is it really? You think it's easy just jumping on a YouTube and making money? This shit is work. This shit is work, man. And we only talk because we have something that people want to talk about. You can't just get on here and just talk shit. It ain't that easy, man. Now, you know, you might be affiliated to a camp and you might have 10,000 people that like you, but you might have 20,000 people that don't like you. What you going to do? Tell that 20,000 you got a bunch of 15-year-olds that's going to beat them up too? How the fuck is that productive? Just the facts. Let's get to the facts. And it shouldn't even be fucking going there in the first goddamn place. You threaten everybody that has a difference of opinion? That's how it goes? And how's that productive, black man? Can't hear you.
And watch, dog. I'm not even going to do a video on this because this shit's almost over. He should go take that shit down. Because, dude, he said some shit about Errol Spence and that shit that I was like, dude, he forgot himself. I was like, dude, did you? See, I'm not even going to say what he said about Errol Spence. But I'm from the Midwest, and I was like, did you fucking really just say that shit about Errol Spence? See, he thinks I'm the type of motherfucker just to take any type of salacious shit and make a video about it. But the shit he said about Errol Spence Jr., I was like, man.
You see why, you know how you said you only debate your equals? This is why I'm like on the fence about opening up a Twitter account because I know what's there waiting for me.
Oh, Twitter? Here's the Twitter thing. Twitter is just, I only go to Twitter so I can troll intellectuals. See, because everybody over there in Twitter thinks they're smart and they're not. So it's like journalists think because they went to college that they're smart. Dog, you're a journalist. All you do is you know how to write. Ain't nobody fucking taking students serious. You know what I'm saying? Ain't like you fucking over there in the fucking school of engineering, nigga. You in fucking communications. Fuck up out of here, man. Ain't nobody got no respect for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So they be thinking they're like these super smart ass dudes that know contracts, no business, and I'm a dick. So I'll just go over there and be a dick. But that's it, because I just don't care.
I have no...
It's not worth being over there other than that.
No, it's not. That's why I'm not concerned with it. Whatever's said to me, like what was said about me.
No. That was Instagram, dog.
Oh, Instagram. Oh.
He did all that shit on Instagram.
Look, I'm Drew Titan on Instagram. I'm Drew Titan on YouTube. All right? And there's a lot of people hitting me up trying to friend me. Listen, if your shit is private, I'm not going to accept it. If your shit is private, I'm not going to accept it because I don't know who you are. I already did that with 2 or 3 people, and I did a live like 2 weeks ago, and those 2 people jumped right in the live, started talking about Tyson Fury. I said, oh, okay, these are trolls. So I had to kick their ass out. If your shit is private, I'm not accepting it. It's not personal. You know what I'm saying? I need to see pictures of you and your family or whatever it is you're doing. I need to know you're a real person. All right? Fuck that coward shit. All right? I'm a real person. You know, the trolls, if you got an account and there's no pictures of you on there, I'm not going to accept it. I got like 30 people sending me requests, and some of them may be real. Most of them aren't. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? One love to the real ones, but the rest of you guys got a private account. It's just a picture of a logo. I'm not accepting it. I don't know who you are. You need to show me who you are, that you're a real person. But, you know, My opinion is my opinion. All right. You don't like my opinion, fine. Go rant about it. Go rant about how you feel. But while I'm talking about the sport of boxing and the things that I like and dislike, you're talking about me, which is weird. You fucking weirdos. I'm talking about go ahead.
Drew and Fannon, I appreciate everything that was said, but you can't give $10 logic to a $2 asshole. No, but look, here's the thing, Cerebral. I just talked to a whole bunch. There's like 700 people in here. I just explained a whole lot of shit to a whole lot of people, and I really wasn't talking to him. See, if I tell you, if there's somebody listening to this that understood every fucking word that came out of my mouth and never put it together, I promise you. And let me tell you why I know that is. Because there have been people that have emailed me and told me, hey, Fannon, I just got to let you know. One dude said, and he'll tell you, he's here all the time. He'll say, hey, man, I got my vice presidency because of advice that you gave me. And I'll say thanks. And I'm not surprised because, dude, that's why I say it. I'm a college-educated man, and I'm 51. I'm a member of a fraternity. I went to HBCUs. Who do you think is going to listen to me? People like me. So if you're 30 and you are a young professional, I was 30, I was a young professional. I know what it's like. I've worked for senior executives. I know what they want because I wouldn't give it to them. That's why I wasn't very good with them. Trust me, I got the shit beaten out of me because I wouldn't do certain things that I was told a million times to do, but I didn't do it. So I'm like, okay, but now I see my daughter, right? And she's coming up and I'm like, you know what? Hey, babe, think about this, think about that. She gets irritated, right? But dude, nigga, she's a fucking beast, okay? Trust me, dog. She is definitely getting calls from Harvard and Yale for graduate school. No doubt about it, dog. Because if she wasn't playing tennis, she would have went there in undergrad. And so my point is, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about, dog? Because I was like, damn, I was so proud of my baby.
He was talking about what Cerebral Shadowboxer said.
Oh, what did he say?
$10 advice to a $2 asshole.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, there you go. So I told my daughter that. My daughter learns. Even if she doesn't want to hear it, just by simple osmosis, several years later, she's going to process it. So I can tell you very complex things and give you the explanation simply, and you don't have to agree, but logic is infectious. Your mind knows that that's logical, even though you're trying very, very hard with that cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance sits on top of that. But your understanding, you can't get rid of. Just like you can't unsee things, you can't unhear clean logic. It is going to affect you. So you're going to be affected. It's hypnotism. It comes out every day. It's very consistent. It's very clear. Be logical in what you do. Be constructive in everything you say, you do, and you think. And what does constructive mean? Constructive means something that leads me to solve a problem in a way that does not create additional problems. That is a way to think. And once you train somebody to think that way, they will always think that way. Just like they do that Pavlov's dog shit with you and get you drooling every time somebody shows you a fucking watch. You see a shiny watch and your mouth drools. Literally, you will salivate off them things. Ooh, and your mouth get wet. Because that is something that condition you to shine on rocks. See, when somebody teaches somebody to be a radiologist, they teach them to see the shadows and to differentiate the little shadows. And then now the blind has sight. Because they have been trained to think another way. What we have to do as a people, I do believe, is we have to retrain ourselves as individuals to be constructive in everything we say, we think, and we do. And we're not always going to make it, right? Sometimes we're going to be this way, sometimes we're going to be wrong, and there's always going to be problems. But it's going to push you towards achieving something. You're not going to have, Black people suffer from this shit crazy. Procrastination, stagnation, procrastination. What do you call that shit? It's like you suffer from procrastination. You got a bunch of fucking ideas and they spin around in your head and you're like, oh, I could recreate this. I could do this. I could do that. And they spin in it and nothing happens. You know why? Because you're not actually being constructive in what you do. You're being constructive in what you say, but you're not actually being constructive in what you do. So when you start being like, damn, I'm about to drink this liquor. Is this constructive? Well, she wants to drink. It's going to get me some cushy. Oh, yeah, I'll sip it. You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, man, maybe I should show up at this party early. Or on time. No, maybe I shouldn't do that. Why? Because I think this nigga in high school, the other time, I heard this motherfucker want to beat me up. I'm going to show up late. You know what I'm saying? Is that a good decision? Based on what I think? Yes. Am I going to quit my job? I don't have enough money in my bank. But what should I do? Maybe I should start a YouTube channel. And if I keep working every day and being constructive, eventually, if I'm constructive every day, I'll have enough income to switch from this job gradually to this job. And everything you do and you say and you think is pointed towards that goal. That's what happened with Errol Spence Jr. and how he fell off because he wasn't thinking constructively. He wasn't doing constructively. He wasn't speaking. Well, he made him. I can't speak for that, but when you're drinking and you're eating burgers and you're partying, if he would have thought every time, which he's doing now, how does this action affect my goal? Is drinking this liquor and buying this gold diamonds, is this going to actually help me? Now, here's the thing. It might. If you say, yes, because people are going to think I'm rich, therefore they're going to look better at me, and they will then want to do business with me. So, yes, I need the expensive shirt. If that's your thought process, then that's a good decision. If all you're doing is sitting in your house and your neighbors are going to like you for all that damn diamond, how the fuck is that going to make you money? Anyway, that's the thought process that I have, and that's where I'm like, dude, we can learn this and we can condition that. We can condition this in our kids. We can condition it in ourselves. Love Neely Fuller Jr., dog. And with that, dog, let me say the peace, man. We out, man. Go to 78. Peace.